Okay, so let's continue. Dito na tayo sa physical security. Yan. Or so rather, dito pa rin tayo sa physical security. Okay, so first is barriers. Pag sinabi nating barriers, harang. It is any structure or physical device capable of restricting, deterring, delaying illegal access to an installation. It defines the physical limits of an area. Kasi nga sinasabi lang niya, o andun siya para sabihin na hanggang dito lang ang sakop ng jurisdiction ninyo o sakop ng lupa ninyo, barrier nga siya. It creates a physical and psychological deterrent to unauthorized entry. Hindi lang ito ah, physical, pero maaaring masabi rin natin na psychological deterrent. Kasi minsan kahit naman may physical barrier dyan, ang ginagawa ng tao, tinatalon yung barrier, tinatalon yung bakod. Pero may mga pagkakataon na kapag stricto ang pagpapatupad ng security doon, ah, maiisip din ng tao na ay hindi talaga ako pwedeng makapasok diyan or hindi ako makakapasok diyan kahit anong gawin ko. Kasi nga psychologically naisip na nila na hindi sila na hindi possible yung plan nila na ma-infiltrate ng isang installation. It assists in more efficient and economical employment of guards kasi hindi naman pwede na sa bawat square inch or sa square foot ng isang installation ay merong security guard. 'Di ba? Sobrang gastos naman nun kung ang dami mong tao tsaka ang crowded, 'di ba? Ang isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit may barrier is para, yun na nga, maging efficient yung mga guards na employ natin. Ipepwesto lang natin sila sa mga lugar kung saan masasabi nating mahina ang medyo mahina ang security at doon lang tayo maglalagay ng guards natin. And then prevent penetration or delay intrusion, thus facilitating apprehension of intruders. Okay. So what is a perimeter barrier? It is a medium or structure which defines the physical limits of an installations or area to restrict or impede access thereto. Sinasabi lang na ito ay isang bagay na nag-hamper o ini-impede nga yung access, hindi pinapapasok doon sa isang lugar dahil doon sa barrier na yon. It is any physical barrier used to supplement the protection of an inside or outside perimeter. Basically, barriers are designed to accomplish the following: outline of the perimeter of the area to be secured, create a physical and psychological impact to unauthorized entry, delay intrusion, thus facilitating apprehension of intruders. Assist in a more efficient economical employment of guards, and facilitate and impose the control of pedestrian and vehicular traffic. Kasi hindi naman pwede na kung saan-saan lang magpa-park. Hindi naman pwede na kung saan-saan lang dadaan ang tao. 'Di ba? Kaya dapat may tamang parkingan, may tamang daanan ng tao. And ang isa sa mga bagay para ma-facilitate ng maayos yun are perimeter barriers. It is the first line of defense of an installation. Pag sinabi nating installation, isang area. For example, AUF. AUF is an installation. Pag sinabing first line of defense, ito ang pinaka gilid, nasa labas siya. Kaya nga, first line of defense. Kung may kailangang ma-penetrate, ito muna ang dadaanan, yung perimeter barrier. This may be in the form of fences, walls, or even bodies of water. Depende sa pwesto ng installation na yon. Kung familiar kayo sa Alcatraz Prison, it is located in an island. Of course, an island is surrounded by water. So, yun, perimeter barrier, yung tubig. But for example, AUF nga, wala naman tubig. Minsan nagbabaha dyan sa tabi-tabi natin. Pero hindi natin masasabing body of water yon. Pwede yung mga walls natin, tsaka yung fences. Yun, mga perimeter barrier natin yan. This is used to deny or impede access or exit of unauthorized person. Next are the line of defense. Yan. The first line of defense includes all perimeter barriers such as fences, bodies of water, gates, and others. Yun na nga, yung perimeter barrier na tinutukoy natin kanina. The second line of defense includes walls, doors, windows, roof. Yung susunod mula doon sa perimeter barrier. And then the third line of defense includes those internal control measures, specifically protective cabinets. Masasabi natin na parte din ng defense ang mga CCTV cameras. Okay? Ayan. Kung ang isang bagay na gustong manakaw ay, of course, nasa isang installation, ang third line of defense niya, ang sabi dyan, is cabinet. Kung saan nakalagay yung bagay na nanakawin na yun. Sabihin natin, jewelry. So, sa bahay ninyo may gate, tapos nakabakod naman siya. Yun yung first line of defense. Second line of defense, yung pinto ninyo, yung bintana ninyo, yung bubong ninyo, yung pader. And the third line of defense ay kung saan nakalagay yung alahas na yun, yung jewelry. Sa cabinet ba? O sa isang box. Okay? There are two general types of physical barriers. We have natural barrier. It includes mountains, cliffs, canyons, rivers, seas, marshes, deserts, or terrain difficult to traverse. Nagtayo ka ng meeting area ninyong magkakaklase sa sa tuktok ng bundok. O di yung natural barrier, yung bundok na mismo. Kumbaga, mahihirapan na yung mga gustong mag-penetrate doon sa meeting room ninyo. Kasi nga, akyat pa siya ng bundok. It's difficult to traverse. And then we also have man-made barrier. These are structural constructions like fences, walls, floors, roofs, drills, bars, roadblocks, or other physical means to deter or impede penetration. So obvious naman kung anong meaning yan. Pag natural, hindi gawang tao. Pag man-made, di gawang tao yun. Okay. So we also have wire fences. This is a type of perimeter barrier made of chain link design with mesh openings not larger than 2 inches square and made of number 9 gauge wire or heavier, minimum height of which is 8 feet. As in literal na yung fence ay gawa sa wire. And then we also have building wall. Siyempre, pader. Masonry wall should have the same height as the chain link and surmounted by barbed wire top guards. If the height is less than the prescribed, additional chain link as topping is placed to attain the minimum height requirement. Ang ibig sabihin dito, building wall, as in literal na pader, tapos naglalagay ng barbed wire sa taas ng pader. And then, yung mga, ayan, barbed wire top guards. Yung top guard ay barbed wire sa taas ng building wall. Ayan. Okay. So, bodies of water. It is an additional security measure surrounding the establishment. Katulad nga nung sa Alcatraz na sinasabi namin. Gates and doors, it must be guarded and locked, syempre, para makadagdag sa security ng inyong installation. Sidewalk elevators, it provides access to areas within the perimeter barriers and should be locked or guarded. Then we also have utility openings. It may be composed of sewers, air intakes, exhaust tunnels, which penetrate the barriers and which have cross-sectioned area of 96 square inches or more, which should be protected by bar grills. Then we also have clear zones. It is an unobstructed area maintained on both sides of the perimeter barrier. A clear zone of 20 feet or more is desirable between the barrier and extension structures and natural covers which may provide concealment or assistance to a person seeking unauthorized entry. Where it is impossible to have clear zones because of property lines or natural features, an increment in the height of the fencing, increased guard coverage, more security lighting, or the use of intrusion devices in that portion of the perimeter should be done. So, ang clear zone, for example, ito ang installation, ito yung mismong bahay. At, or, hindi naman bahay, building na lang, para mas makatotohanan. Ito yung building. Tapos, yung perimeter barrier niya, ito. So, yung area from the perimeter barrier to the building na walang harang, as in open space siya, that is considered a clear zone. Yang ang sabi dyan, it is an unobstructed area maintained on both sides of the perimeter barrier. We also have additional protective measures. Nabanggit ko kanina. First is yung top guard. It is an additional overhang or barbed wire placed on vertical perimeter fences. So, meron ng fence. Meron ng perimeter fence. Naglagay ka pa sa taas ng barbed wire. And yung nakalagay sa taas na barbed wire na yon ang tawag ng top guard. Okay. Facing upward and outward with a 45-degree angle with 3 to 4 strands of barbed wires spaced 6 inches apart. This will increase the protective height and prevent easy access. We also have sentry stations, normally provided at the main perimeter entrances to secure areas located out of doors and manned by guards on a full-time basis. Sentry stations should be near at the perimeter for surveillance at the entrance. As in, isang, sabihin na natin, guard house. Mas kilala siguro yan na guard house. Yun, sentry station, yun. 24 hours na may tao dapat doon. Merong guard na nandoon, naka-duty. Ganun ang sentry station. Okay. At ang requirement doon, malapit sa perimeter, doon sa perimeter barrier and sa entrance, sa gate or sa pintuan. And then we have guard towers. Obvious naman. Tower yan. These are house-like structure above the perimeter barrier. It gives a psychological effect to violators. So kung ang perimeter barrier mo, hanggang dito lang ang height, ang guard tower, mas mataas siya. House-like structure. Parang sentry station din siya. Kaso, tower lang. Mas mataas lang yung pwesto niya. Kaya parang kita niya lahat. Kita niya lahat ng nandun sa baba. Kaya ang sabi dyan, it gives a psychological effect to violators. And then, protection in depth. In large open areas or ground where fencing or walling is impracticable and expensive, ang lupa mo nasa kagubatan, impracticable, tsaka magastos kung lalagyan mo ng perimeter barrier yon. Lalagyan mo ng, babakuran mo siya. So, ang suggestion, warning signs should be conspicuously placed. The depth itself is protection, reduction of access roads, and sufficient notices to warn intruders should be done. Use of animal guards and intrusion devices can also be done. We also have signs and notices. Control signs should be erected where necessary in the management of unauthorized ingress and preclude accidental entry, ID, prohibition, and exclusive areas signs. Okay, malapit-lapit na tayo. Specifications for using chain link fences. So first, it must be constructed in an 8-foot material excluding the top guard. Yun yung chain link. As in, this is a fence na chain, paikot. It must be made heavier. Mesh openings are not to be larger. Sorry, ang chain link ay yung mga fences na parang criss-cross sila. Yung nakaganon sila sa isa't isa, parang diamond. Tinutukoy ko palang pabilog, concertina wire yon, sorry. Okay? Mesh openings are not to be larger than 2 inches per side. It should be twisted and barbed salvage at top and bottom. It should be securely fastened to rigid material or reinforced concrete. It must reach within 2 inches of hard ground or paving. And then it must reach below surface deep enough on soft grounds to compensate for shifting soil or sand. Ano naman ang specs kapag barbed wire ang gagamitin natin? Standard barbed wire is twisted double strand 12 gauge wire with 4-point barbs spaced on equal distance apart. Na may mga tusok-tusok, yun yung 4-point barb na equal ang paglayo nila sa isa't isa. Barbed wire fencing must be firmly affixed to posts high, excluding top guard. Barbed wire fencing should not be less than 8 feet high, excluding top guard. The distance between strands will not exceed 6 inches and midway between parts. Ano naman ang specs for clear zones? A clear zone of 20 feet or more should exist between the perimeter barriers and the exterior structures. Yun yung sinasabi namin. Mula dun sa gate ninyo hanggang dun sa installation, 20 feet dapat. Walang barrier. Okay. Should exist between the perimeter barriers and exterior structures, parking areas, natural or man-made features. A clear zone 50 feet or more should exist between the perimeter barrier and structures within the protected areas except when a building wall constitutes part of the perimeter barrier. And last is the security specifications for window openings. Okay? So windows of openings less than 18 feet above the ground, such as roofs, ledges, and others, or less than 14 feet directly or diagonally opposite uncontrolled windows in other walls, fire escapes, or other openings of 96 square inches or larger should be grilled or have steel bar protections. So, etong mga sinabi natin na, itong mga to, specifications on clear zones, or using barbed wire, chain link fences, are what is expected as the standard kapag gumagawa kayo ng perimeter barrier ninyo. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na, ang sabi kasi kay barbed wire, dapat equally spaced. Paano kung may pagkakataon na hindi sila naging equally spaced? Ay reject na ba yon kaagad? Agad-agad? Well, hindi naman. Pero itong mga to ay guidelines, and as much as possible, ito yung masunod natin in order for us to be better protected sa mga intruders, especially kung madaming mga mahahalagang bagay sa loob ng installation ninyo.